Zach Ertz suffered an ACL tear in Week 10's game against the LA Rams. He only played 14% of the snaps in that game. And going into Week 10, Zach Ertz had 3 of his last 4 games as a top 8 tight end in PPR and was just consistently in that top 10 to top 12 range. He had one top 3 performance. He went 8 for 75 on 11 targets and 3 red zone targets in week 2 against Vegas. But it's just that consistent mid to back end tight end 1 in PP. As I said, he suffered the ACL tear in week 10. At least it's a mid-season ACL tear, not one of those late season ones where Kyler Murray may be projected to miss some games. Ertz said he was hopeful he'll be ready to go for week 1 of 2023. But even if he suffers no setbacks in that rehab process, it's unlikely that he'll be cleared by the end of July. So we'll see. He might miss a couple games. At least he's a veteran, so we know that he doesn't need to be getting all of those preseason games to know that he's ready. But it also remains to be seen how a new coaching staff and a new GM would use Zach Ertz. Ertz is tied to the Cardinals in 2023. The potential out is in 2024 for a $4 million cap hit, dead cap hit, at $12 million on the books in 2024, and that's his age 34 season. So we could see Zach Ertz being a play here. He's a dead cap of $10 million. So the Cardinals are not moving off of Zach Ertz at all this season. If you like the content, you found this helpful, make sure you hit that red subscribe button. It's not like Trey McBride really did a lot near the end of the season. McBride had one game where he finished as the tight end 2 on a week, and in week 17 he finished 7 for 78 and a touchdown. He came back and reprised his role against San Francisco, 3 for 41, right? Finished as the tight end 24 that week. Trey McBride was not someone who necessarily stepped in and played particularly well with Zach Ertz out, even in the games where Kyler Murray played. In the 3 games where Murray and McBride played, it was a total of 8 targets, a total of 6 receptions for 22 total yards during that span. So Zach Ertz is a difference maker and maybe relied upon more heavily if Kyler Murray's not going to be scrambling, not going to be as mobile. He'll be trusting Ertz in the middle of the field along with Rondell Moore. So I think that Zach Ertz, if he's on the field, could be a nice little later round tight end. Right now in the tight end percentages, Zach Ertz was 11% of the time at least a flex play for you in half point PPR. He averaged 9.2 fantasy points per game, which was 6th best among all tight ends, but he had no top 5 tight end weeks in half PPR. So if you're taking a tight end like Zach Ertz, he doesn't really have upside to add, but he does have a floor, which is something that not a lot of other tight ends can say. You've got to think that Zach Ertz is a better pick than your Greg Dulcich's of the world, your Gerald Everett's of the world, even Dawson Knox. Dawson Knox is tied to a better offense, but you're going to get more consistent production out of Zach Ertz. So maybe pairing Dawson Knox with a Zach Ertz might be an interesting pairing if you miss out on the Kelce's of the world. But it also comes down to where is Knox getting drafted, because you don't want to be taking a 7th round Dawson Knox along with a 9th round or 10th round Zach Ertz. It's just not going to make sense for you. So Ertz is a very late round tight end I'm in on. He's got a floor if he's on the field, but he might miss week 1. He might miss weeks 2 and 3 as well as he works his way back. It depends on how the coaching staff evaluates his progress, how his rehab goes, and ultimately the development of Trey McBride too, because maybe Zach Ertz makes his way back, but McBride was a 2nd round pick in 2022. So maybe he develops as well and improves and gets better and beats out Zach Ertz for snaps later on in the season, and then nerfs a little bit of that late round Ertz value that you're hoping for. So Zach Ertz is one of those players that I'm willing to take a late round gamble on, but I'm not drafting him with the anticipation that he will be immediately contributing as a back end tight end 1 in week 1 of 2023.